So now you did the whole church thing.
Church thing did that, yeah, and that changed my trajectory, and I was sober for a year, and within that year I had the gig with Joe Walsh, and that was really Joe Walsh was my first pro gig, and he was my longest running gig.
How'd you meet?
That was
the people around Joe Walsh, or was it Joe that you actually met?
It was my friend Jason Fries, who was a keyboard player in some of the clubs, as you know.
Is Jason related to Josh?
Josh, yeah, it's his brother.
Huh.
Yeah, so Josh and Jason. So yeah, so Jason plays with Green Day and all these other people, and so I've been good friends with Jason. I was in his wedding. Was one of
Ever since you guys were kids?
No, we met later on after high school, and we kind of knew some of the same friends in the club scene in Orange County. So we just kind of play around, and then I don't know. My roommate talked to him. And they said, "Oh, the guy quit for Joe Walsh. He just started this band, and like, do you want to audition?" And I went and auditioned, and they had a few guys audition, and it was my first pro audition, like for a big name artist, freshly sober.
Wow.
And we did Walk Away, and the guy said, like, "Look, man, this is what's going to happen." And it was Bill and Jason. It was just a 4-piece band. It was like, if you get to play 2 songs, you got the gig. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, we've already had guys in there. He'll play 1 song. He's like, thanks for coming down. So nobody's played 2 songs. So we play, he's like, and Walk Away, the way he played it was just 4 on the floor. Right. So it was pretty straightforward. And so I just played it, and we finished the song, and nobody says anything. Silence. And Joe has his hands behind his back, and he's just rocking back and forth. And his head's down, and he's just thinking. His eyes are closed, and he's just like, dude, for like 20 seconds.
Longest 20 seconds of your life.
And Jason's not saying anything. Bill's on, we're all waiting. He's like, let's play another song. I was like, and Jason was like, you got the gig, you got the gig. I was like, yes. That was it. That was my relationship with Joe, and he taught me more about music than any other person on the planet. Like, I came in there with music school, metronome, Jeff Porcaro, and Joe taught me about, like, are you listening to me right now?
Thank you.
Are you listening to what my guitar is doing? Because you're keeping that beat back there, but you're not listening to what I'm doing. Follow me right now. And, dude, it used to get, man, I'd be like, yes, okay, Joe, no problem. And we had it out a couple times, but
how old were you?
27. Yeah, I got it right after I got sober. So I played with him from 1998 to 2016. And,
wow.
Yeah, he was my longest running gig.
Imagine the trust that it's like, oh my God.
And we went through like 5 different bands in those 18 years.
So Jason left.
Jason was gone within like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But then he came back a couple times, and then we had another band, and then I double drummed with Steve Ferrone with a tour. I know. Crazy.
Average white band, Duran. Oh my God.
Steve's a monster. So that was just crazy. And I was the MD. I'm like, okay, Steve, so this is kind of how it goes. I'm just like, and the first rehearsal we had, Steve didn't really talk to me. He was kind of like, and he's intimidating.
Did they have an accent?
Yeah.
Was it British?
Yeah. And he played, and it was 2 guys from this, oh
my God.
gosh, the DeLeo brothers, Dean and his brother, Dean and Robert. Thank you, gosh. And so they were all buddies with Steve, and I didn't know anybody.
They were older than you.
Yeah, they're all older, and I'm like the young MD. And Joe wouldn't come to rehearsals. At that point, I ran the band like the first 3 or 4 days, and I would sing the parts and play, and then I kind of knew all the arrangements, and then Joe would show up and then finish up rehearsals. And Steve was like, yeah. I'm just like, I'm playing with Steve Ferrone. And then after the first day, and I think he didn't know what I was going to be like, because I'm sure he's thinking, like, man, I got to play with some guy. Like, if we don't agree on the groove and I got to do a 6-month tour, this is going to be a long tour.
Right.
Like, this is not going to be fun. And literally, dude, we did Walk Away because it's 4 on the floor, super easy. And we started playing, and Steve played, and I played. And so we were playing. Maybe I told the story wrong, because I remember he winked. And so we played, and I was listening like, okay, our kick drums are together. That's good. And then I'm like, man, snares feel good. Snares feel good. I'm like, hi-hats together. We're good. And I look over at Steve, and he looked at me, and he just winked. And like from that point on, after that first day, he was like a sweetheart. And we are still friends to this day. I still talk to him all the time.